Hi everyone, welcome to Dear Besh. My name is A and I'm a life coach. So I want to welcome our new followers for this page. Thank you so much for your support, and I hope I can share and promote this page to those people who you think you might be needing to learn something from this. I will be conducting master classes by next year about self-improvement, especially on self-awareness, self-love, creating self-boundaries, and all of that. And I'm just finishing all of those programs for next year. So stay tuned on that. And also, I want to share with you something that had happened to me for the past few days. So I have been in contact with my previous client, and she's an amazing author, and she had a lot of books, and her latest book was called Mind Rewiring. It's really more of a workbook on how you can evaluate and overcome your obstacles by answering those questions, and doing the journals that may help you understand yourself better. So she has another book coming up, and she invited me to write a part of it and be a part of it, and I'm so excited. I have already submitted my documents and it's under review, and I'm so excited to see the book coming in probably in the next few months. So I'm gonna share that book here in Dear Besh there. So also I got an invite to talk to some of women organizations in Canada. So I'm very excited to do that. It will help me really get to know a lot of people and empower women, which is my dream. My one of my many dreams in life is to be able to be part of a community where we empower women, especially women who are single moms or single mothers, or women who've been through a lot in terms of relationships and all that. So part of my coaching program is how to bounce back from a very bad breakup. Yeah, so exciting, diba? So I hope you stay tuned, and I'll keep you posted. And I would highly encourage you guys to comment or share your ideas or any suggestions to my posts. And I welcome other people, or I welcome people who would like to share their stories in this page to inspire and help others as well survive whatever challenges they have in life. That's the goal of this page. I don't want you guys to go through a particular challenges or problems in life alone, because I know how it feels to be alone, not knowing what to do, and not knowing what to start, and not really knowing what you wanna do about yourself, and keep blaming yourself and all that. So I don't want you to go through that alone. That's why I'm here sharing my own stories, and making you feel and letting you know that you are not alone. Yeah. So what's in it for us today? So I want to talk about childhood trauma. Okay. I had a post yesterday about I'm scared, or I don't know how to deal with my boss, and it boils down to my childhood experience, and I want to continue that content in this video and talk more about childhood trauma. So, according to the Mental Health Institute, childhood trauma is defined as an event in the life of a child where a child experiences a very painful and traumatic and distressful events in his life or her life that has a lasting or a long-term effect in his or her mental and physical well-being. And there are a lot of different childhood traumas. Yeah. There are like 10 most common childhood trauma: physical abuse, physical neglect, emotional abuse, emotional neglect, sexual abuse, mental illness, death in the family, divorce, violence against the mother, and all that. So there are a lot of, childhood trauma that a child may experience and may have a different impact as they grow older. And so I want to talk about emotional neglect or emotional or no and emotional abuse, because these are two different things. Emotional neglect is when a parent or parents neglected the emotional need of a child. Example would be, let's say a child would say, I don't feel good about this, and then a parent will just, brush it off or ignore it, or would not acknowledge it, or maybe will say something that a child may feel unheard, like, oh, you're too sensitive, no, it's okay, you're just overreacting, something like that. So that's an emotional neglect. um, Emotional abuse, um, example of this would be a parent or members of the family is saying things that might hurt a child's feelings or emotion, and that may lead to long-term effect on the child's mental wellness. An example would be, you should have been born. I should be free at this time and not having this obligation in raising you and all that. That's that's really bad to say to a child. Yeah. Based on my experience, I also had my share of um, emotional abuse, not by my biological mother, but by my stepmom. I understand that during those times she was still young and didn't expect that my dad already has 3 kids when they decided to be together. And so I was there, and probably considered me as a rival to my father's attention and feelings. And so all the pain and maybe all the brokenness of that person was directed to me. And sometimes I would hear her say that you are the cause of my unhappiness. Or to be exact, lagi niyang sinasabi na ikaw yung reason kung bakit hindi ako masaya, or ikaw yung tinik sa lalamunan ko. And I didn't understand that until ako mismo ay nagkaroon na ng sarili kong family. Those words never left my memories. It never left me, even when I was a teenager and growing up alone. I feel so disconnected. So that's the impact of, experiencing emotional abuse and emotional neglect. Emotional neglect will be both from my dad and from my biological mother, who has never been present in my entire life. And I created this belief that probably I was an unwanted child by my mother, reason why she didn't look for me, or didn't bother to see me or let me know that she's alive. And after 40 to 42 years, that's the only time I knew her, and that was few years ago. So the effect of emotional neglect by my mom has an impact to me as a person. It it made me feel like I'm unwanted, that I'm not important, that I don't matter. Because why would a parent leave a child without letting the child know and understand as she grew up the reason why the situation is happening. I was looking for answers for so many years in my life, and I ended up writing a letter to her. I saw the address in my birth certificate, the address of my mom, and I can still remember that I wrote to her several times. And the letter never came back to me, and I assumed that she was able to read it. Apparently, when we met around 2018, she actually said that she didn't get those letters. All throughout my life, or my adolescence years, or my teenage life, I feel like something is missing. It's because I feel like I don't know why I'm existing. I question my existence because I never felt that I am important and valued by my parents. Sometimes I found myself like, alam mo yun, as a child, maybe you experienced this, no? Doon sa mga ka-age ko, that whenever your parents would ask you something, or maybe reprimand you about something that you did, and you try to reason out, and they wouldn't like your reasons, and they would make you feel and tell you that you are being disrespectful and unpolite. And as a child, I experienced that, no? I experienced expressing myself and giving out my reasons why I did what I did. But what I got as a consequence for being disrespectful is me being punished. So what are those punishments that I have to go through just because I expressed myself? I expressed that I do not like what they want me to do, or I'm not comfortable doing what they wanted me to do. So as a consequence, they ask me to, face the wall, or alam mo yung asin na luluhuran mo, or munggo, or bigas na luluhuran mo, because you are being disrespectful, and you have to be punished for doing so, and make sure that you no longer do it. So nasusurpress yung alam mo yun, yung pag-express mo ng feelings mo, and that's an emotional neglect because you are not being heard, no? There was this one time na alala ko that nakaihi ako sa higaan. No, natutulog kami, and then nagising na lang ako, pinapalo na ako ng sinturon ng stepmom ko. Kasi basang-basa yung banig na hinihiga namin because nagwiwi ako habang natutulog. And as a punishment, pinasok niya ako sa loob ng sako at sinabit niya ako doon sa kisame. So yung kisame, actually hindi siya kisame, no? Walang kisame noong mga unang panahon sa mga bahay. Meron lang siyang mga kahoy na nagsusupport ng bubong, and then itinali niya doon yung sako pati ako. I was screaming so hard because I was so scared of falling doon sa sako. No, nakatali yung kamay ko, nakatali yung paa ko sa loob ng sako. Lahat yata ng alam kong pangalan, no, na I can remember calling, isinisigaw ko sila, like lolo, lola, tita, tito, teacher, and all that, because I needed help. I can't breathe anymore because I'm inside that, alam mo yung pinaglagyan ng bigas doon, na ang sako ay makapal. Hindi katulad ng mga sako ngayon na is like nylon and all, but noon para siyang tela na makapal, or para siyang hibla ng tali na makapal na nilalagyan ng bigas. And I can't breathe. Pag humihinga ako, nandun yung mga alikabok ng bigas, and nahihirapan akong huminga. But what I heard was that she was laughing so hard while I was crying and screaming. So I thought about, why do I have to go through this? No, is it my fault na nagwiwi ako ng hindi ko alam? It's out of my control, and I cannot understand why I have to be punished in such a way by, my mom, my stepmom. And it never I never forgotten that event in my life. But I was able to recover from that pain, from that emotional pain, from feeling of being unwanted, from feeling of being not part of the family because they have their own families. I have three siblings next to me, with her and my dad, and I feel like I don't belong to that family. And so as a result, when I grew up, I actually lived alone. So I studied in a convent as a scholar, and then after that I never went back home. So most of the time I made my decisions alone, and I never consulted my dad or anyone or any members of the family of what I will be doing if ever I'm not sure. I always have to be sure of what I wanted to do with my life, and be responsible when I chose something that I need to do. So I think ang impact nito sa akin is that, number one, I became so responsible sa sarili ko. It's because I feel like no one is going to save me, no one is going to fight for me, no one is going to love me, no one is going to look for me or look after me but me. So naging survivor ako in my own ways because I accepted the fact or created that belief that I was alone. Okay? The second impact is that I was so disconnected to anyone. I couldn't express myself. I don't know myself. I can remember one time I was actually in Cubao, where I don't know where to go. I was looking for a job. I was alone. I don't have money. And then I was thinking of, maybe if there's someone who's gonna ask me to go somewhere, maybe I should, go with that person and all that. But I was so scared to be unsafe. I was so scared to be uh, in a situation that I might not be able to uh, you know, escape or something like that. And so I told myself to be careful and all that. But I have a confusion inside me going on, that what is life for? Why am I existing? Why do I need to exist? Why do I need to live? And all that. So I was so confused at that time. And so I just go with the flow. Whatever happens to me, whatever comes my way, I just go with the flow. But with the sense of responsibility that whatever happens to me, it's all on me. Okay, so yan yung impact sa akin. And so when I got married and I wasn't ready during that time, I don't know what I'm getting myself into. I just accepted that it happened to me. That I married and I have a son and all that. And from then on, I just live a life, whatever it is that life may bring to me. And it's just so recently, after another event happened to me, like 4 or 5 years ago, that I made a self discovery, and I work on my healing process. So I want to share with you how I was able to, overcome and recover from that emotional trauma, emotional neglect, and emotional abuse by both of my mom, my biological mom and my stepmom, and also my dad, who wasn't present so many times in my life during that time because he's at work, and my stepmom wouldn't let us talk to him about what she's doing to us. So um, it's really painful growing up when you don't feel any support from those people that supposedly supporting you and protecting you. And so at age 7 or 8, my sisters or elder sisters and I ran away from home for about a year and a half. And it was it devastated my dad so much, because his a father who would like to have his children, you know, um, safe and in his care. And he wasn't aware what was happening to us during that time. And I can still remember the first time my dad saw me and my sisters when we came back, that I can remember the words that he said. Sorry, that he told me that, Len, never do that again. Never run away from me. It's because I wouldn't be able to make it when you will run away. And I know that my dad um, loves us so much. Oh gosh, that was, very, very emotional for me, not emotional because I still feel the pain. I am emotional because I miss my dad. He was my hero. He was everything that I am today. It's because of his teachings. It's because of his examples. It's because of his legacy about being a single parent, and how strong he was, and how how he stand up on his beliefs and principles in life. And my dad would always tell me that there's nothing that I can not achieve as long as I would aim for it. And I can still remember his letters when I was still studying in a convent, that he's very proud of me. And I am a kind of child that um, he wanted to be sana noon para sa mga magulang niya, but hindi niya nagawa. And so I knew that my dad has regrets as well, because of the emotional neglect from his parents. And that's the reason why he became the father that I knew, because he doesn't want to experience, or he doesn't want his children to experience what he went through when he was at our age. So, alam mo yun, lahat ng nangyayari sa atin at present, or maybe hindi man lahat, no? But some of the things that we do, some of the things that we are, the behaviors that we display, the emotions, no, yung mga triggers ng emotions natin, is sometimes because of the things that had happened to us in the past. And sometimes we're not aware that may mga root cause, may mga triggers, or may mga activating events na sumusundot sa atin bilang normal na tao, na hindi natin kasi na-address noon, no? Hindi natin na-acknowledge na it happened to us, and we just allowed it sa memory natin to stay there, and we thought na tapos na kasi nakalimutan na natin. So kapag same scenarios or same or similar experiences would be presented in front of us, naaalala natin yun, not sa memory natin, no, but yung familiar feeling na yon na dinanas natin noon, it's coming back. And how we respond to it would sometimes, or most of the times, based on how we felt during those times that we're experiencing those traumas. Okay? So how do we recover? And is it possible to recover from emotional trauma as a child? Now that we're adults, now that we are experiencing different kinds of relationships around us, is it still possible for us to recover from the emotional trauma as a child? Okay. Yes, the answer is yes. We can still recover. The first thing that we need to do is to first accept who we are. Okay, accept the person that you are, and accept that it happened to you and it's not your fault. Okay? Whatever happened to you in the past as a child, as a teenager, is not your fault. Okay? Um, hindi tayo naturuan ng mga parents natin on how to deal with our emotions. Some parents, you're lucky if your parents are open to you and share with you how they feel about you and how they feel about a particular event sa family ninyo. Because I do that to my kids. I tell my stories to my kids. I express how I love them. I also express when I'm disappointed, when I'm frustrated. I explain to them why I was upset or why I raise my tone, or when I feel like I'm angry or what. I explain to them why. It's not about them. It's most of the time about me. My frustrations are all about me, not about them. Okay? And we have to accept the fact that we are vulnerable at times. It's because we're human beings. We are experiencing different emotions every day, and sometimes we are not 100% aware why we're having those emotions. So it's important that you accept yourself, accept who you are, and get to know who you really are, and what are those triggers, and put a name on those emotions that you feel, no? Kasi pag hindi mo na-identify kung sadness ba yan, kung anger ba yan, kung frustrations ba yan, disappointments ba yan, then you're not be able to uh, uh, locate or trace the reason why you're feeling that way. Second would be, you have to accept that you have your own feelings, that your feelings matter, that you matter, that you are like anyone else who matters, that your feelings is not you. Okay? That you need to also, or you are allowed to feel those emotions because you are human. Yeah? We are human beings experiencing spiritual experiences, and emotions are always present, no? Sometimes lang di lang natin na-identify anong klaseng emotions yun. So in this second step, it's so important that you are self-aware, meaning you know why you feel that way, you know what kind of feeling or emotions you are currently feeling, and what is your reality, and what's um, what's in it for you if you allow yourself to feel that way. So self-awareness is so important because that's the only way that you can, manage yourself, manage your reactions, manage your behaviors, your responses, to anything around you that's stimulating that responses or reactions to you, no? Iyon lang kasi yung may full control ka. Yung pwede mong gawin. Okay? Like, how you will react, how you will respond, or the actions that you will be doing based on your decisions, yun yung within your control, no? And as a child, there are times that our needs are not met. Kaya nga, traumatic yung emotional neglect and emotional abuse, and akala natin normal yun. Akala natin na, I don't wanna be aggressive, I don't wanna push myself to someone or to a group of people, or maybe I don't wanna share my ideas, I don't wanna contribute anymore. If there are ideas or opinions that I have, I want to keep it to myself because it won't matter. No? Kasi nga, nasanay tayo na neglected, na hindi acknowledge yung pwede nating sabihin, yung mga gusto nating sabihin at i-express. And nakasanayan na natin yon. And sometimes hindi tayo aware na yun pala ay nagko-cause ng problem, especially sa relationships natin, no, currently. So we need to recover from that and heal from that. Okay, so that's the third step. We need to be able and allow ourselves to express ano man yung nararamdaman natin, no? Don't get me wrong, may mga expressions na very violent, no? Especially if sobrang at the height of our emotions, uncontrollable na tayo, na like magagalit tayo, may bugso ng damdamin and all that because may trigger na nangyari na naman to sa akin, so this time hindi, kailangan kong ipagtanggol yung sarili ko and all that, and sometimes dahil nga sa bugso ng damdamin na yan, because we were never made aware of why we feel that way, so nagpatong-patong yung mga emotions na yon, and sometimes we're going out of control. Kaya may mga tao na mas gusto na lang nilang, alam mo yun, mag-drugs, or maybe uminom ng uminom, or manigarilyo, or whatnot, bumarkada, lalo ng mga kabataan, for them to escape doon sa nangyayari sa kanila, because hindi tayo na-educate na pwede pala natin yun i-address, na pwede pala natin yung ma-reconcile yung past natin sa present natin, so we can be the person that we want to be. Okay? And lastly would be practice self-soothing. Alam mo yun, when someone loves you and you feel like you are in distress or you are in pain, may tao or kaibigan ka na who will be there for you, who will console you, who will encourage you, who will be there for you kahit na wala silang sinasabi. Yung tipong just holding your hands, or pat on the back, or just letting you know that, hey, I'm just here if you need someone. That's, you can actually do that to yourself, no? Instead of waiting for someone to do that for you, practice that to yourself. So there are different ways of self-soothing, and tinatawag ko siyang reparenting, no? Dahil nga magulang natin yung nag-cause ng emotional abuse and emotional neglect, then you will need to reparent yung sarili mo, and bumalik ka doon sa time na kung saan you feel neglected, and go back to that time and tell that little child the things na gusto mong marinig noon. Okay? This is what I actually do, no? Kapag sometimes sobrang I feel like I'm no longer effective as a leader, or when I feel like I'm not effective and efficient in helping my clients, in terms of them identifying solutions, no, sa problem nila. Sometimes I feel like it's not my 100%, and I'm blaming myself for not being good enough, no. Nandun palagi yung self-doubt. So what I do, parati akong may salamin sa desk ko no, lagi akong may hawak na salamin, or at least may salamin ako sa bag ko, or itong phone ko, if mabubuksan ninyo marami akong videos dyan. I talk to myself, no, if I feel like I'm so down and I'm doubting myself, and I feel like I'm alone, and that I'm not good enough, that I failed in this area at times, I talk to myself, no. What do I do? What do I tell myself, no? I always tell myself that, hey, I love you. Remember that I love you. That I will be here for you no matter what. And regardless if you're gonna fail, if you're gonna be successful, or if you wanna start over, or if you feel like you're not good enough, I will be here for you because I love you. Okay? People might not love you the way that I love you, but always remember that there's this constant person who will appreciate you and love you, and that's me. So, video ko yan, no? Kinakausap ko yung sarili ko yan. It feels so good na may kakampi ka. Because the most important relationship that you will have is your relationship sa sarili mo. Okay? Second thing that I do is, I have a diary. Noong unang panahon kasi journal. Okay, grade 6 pa lang yata ako, I already have a journal. Unfortunately, I lost some of it, but some of my journals are still here with me. At kanina nga binabasa ko siya. I was trying to go back doon sa past ko kung saan marami akong challenges, and naawa ako sa sarili ko kasi wala akong mapagsabihan noon kung hindi yung journal ko. And right now, naintindihan ko, mas lalo ko naintindihan yung sarili ko kung bakit ako ganito ka strong, ganito katatag ngayon, is because doon sa mga pinagdaanan ko noon. Nakita ko how my mind works and how my self-perception had helped me overcome everything that I went through sa buhay ko. So, it's important to keep a journal, no? Ngayon hindi na nga handwritten, but nasa word file ko na ang journal ko, no? I pour everything doon sa journal ko, ano nararamdaman ko, anong iniisip ko, anong mga plans ko, anong nag-trigger sa akin today, bakit ako nagalit, bakit ako frustrated nga ba, or disappointed ako, or am I expecting too much from a particular person or sa kids ko, or sometimes I ask myself how productive I am today and all that. So nilalagay ko lahat doon because later on mababasa ko yun and I would know if may progress ako o wala. Okay, so that's so important that you keep a journal. And then another technique that I do is that apart from me acknowledging my emotions, I will always tell myself that I am not defined by my emotions, no? Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin na si A is a person who is impatient, no? Because I'm not that, no? It's part of my weaknesses or probably an opportunity that I need to work, but it doesn't define me as a person, no? What defines me is that I am not perfect, no? That I am a work in progress, that I have goals in life that are not only centered to me and for me, but also to contribute to the community and to other people. I'm not defined by my past. I'm not defined by my emotions, my position sa work ko, kung ano ako, kung saan ako nagtatrabaho. That's not me, no? I am A who is willing to learn, who is wanting to know more about life and discover a lot of things that I can still do so I can help people, so I can be of value to the community. And walang ano ba to, walang pwedeng kumuha ng mga paniniwala na yun about me. It's because that's me. And lastly, when we say self-soothing, this is one of the most important lessons that I've learned, and how helpful it is that you do this. Okay? You have to be forgiving sa sarili mo, no? Because you are not perfect. Okay? You might have a very difficult past or painful past, but it's not your fault. No, and so you need to forgive yourself for feeling that way, for feeling sorry about yourself, and for making you feel that way by those people that you thought would protect you and love you and care for you. You have to be forgiving to yourself, be compassionate to yourself, and that's where forgiveness also towards others would come in, when you know how to forgive yourself. Because forgiveness is not for those people who hurt us or who cause pain sa buhay natin. But forgiveness is for the sake of us, being at peace, no? Or living a life with peace and with a purpose, no? And then apart from forgiveness, you have to also make peace of yourself. Make peace sa sarili mo that you might still make mistakes or make decisions based on how you feel or based on how you perceive yourself or how you perceive a particular situation, no? You have to be compassionate sa sarili mo. Because, again, the most important relationship apart from our relationship kay God, the most important relationship that we can ever have is yung relationship natin sa sarili natin. So, I hope that you learn something from this, that emotional neglect and emotional abuse is real. It's happening. And sometimes hindi natin alam, if we're not self-aware, we might be inflicting this sa member ng family natin, no? Sa anak natin, sa kaibigan natin, sa tawag nito, sa kasama natin sa trabaho. It's because sometimes we're not mindful and we're not self-aware, and we are sometimes reacting based sa ating emotions on how we feel because of the beliefs that we create about ourselves. Okay? And ayun lang. And if you have any comments, any suggestions, or any questions about this video, please feel free to send me a PM and a DM. And I'll see you again in my next episode. So thank you for watching, and stay safe.